Even the persons could be sick sometime, right? It could be more. I mean, David, he could be doing good thing, he could be doing bad thing also, right? That in his life story, right? David, we don't know another story. Solomon too. He could be wise, right? But because he has 700 wives and 300 concubines, right? So some people say certain thing he does. We are not perfect. The only person perfect is Jesus. So even we could use one person to carry out God's will. These maybe he needs help. Angels could help him, or other even the organization. A good manager, he really doesn't have to go and do those manual things. He could have somebody else under his management. A perfect organization, a perfect company, it's like a group teamwork, right? And it's I don't know, maybe of course you need a good leader, but we cannot just say that person is the one that get all the credit. David's the one that King David. I think it could be developed victim also, all those things that he did, right? That's what I mean. Moses, after he come down from the mountain with 10 commandments, anybody who worshiped the golden calf, right? We saw that they got sided and he got wiped out too. That's kind of sad too, right? After all those long journey from Egypt. So those it's a lot of killing being done too. Old Testament is a lot of blood. So I don't know if it needs some kind of teamwork. God put one person in charge, but also that person need help. It's like a chain reaction, right? To carry on with the teamwork. It's not just one person's. Noah's need help to build that up too, right? But then his children, some of them maybe good, some of them maybe not as great.
We as Christians, we are more aware of the powers of Satan than Jesus. It's an irony. But that's the way we are.
Our mission strives to spread love and light to every corner. But to truly make a difference, we need your consideration. We're not asking for your donations. Instead, we invite you to subscribe to our mission. Simply hit that subscribe button, click the like, and ring the bell button to support. Every interaction counts. Every subscription, every like, every comment helps us with the mission.
See, even in the baptismal declaration, you remember what it is? When we are godparents to a child, and when we are at the baptism, and the first question is asked is, do you believe in Satan? Do you believe in his resolve? Do you believe that he is going to do that, do this, do that, do this, do that? After about 3 or 4 questions about Satan, then comes Jesus. Do you believe in Jesus? See, it is that extent we are being coached, trained, socialized, indoctrinated, so that we are more aware of the will of Satan than the will of God. Irony, granted. Let's take a look at how Satan works. See, because what I'm going to tell you today, hold on to it, okay? Because this is incredibly serious for all of us. To tempt Jesus, what was he doing? What was he doing? If you really see the whole incidents in terms of chronology, look at the whole event as a sort of there could be a mystery in it. There could be something Jesus is trying to teach us in it. There is something that is actually that is more to it than meets the eye or our understanding. There is a mystery in it. And that mystery is something really, really, really fascinating. See, all Satan did was trying to engage Jesus into an intellectual engagement. The word says this, the word says this, word says this, so why don't you do it? Jesus declines. Then Satan goes on to say another word. The word says this, word says this, word says this. Why don't you do this? Third time he's doing the same thing. See, in all these three times, Satan did not think for 1 second, oh man, the first thing didn't work, let me change my course, of my strategy. I need to try something else. No, he did not. He just goes back to his own thing, his intellect. He wants to engage Jesus in an intellectual, entanglement, so he could manipulate Jesus to do something that he wants. See, in all three of these incidences, three of these, his attempts, he did not change his strategy. He did not change his tactics. So what it is that something that becomes very, very clear to us in this thing is that is when we are so busy with our intellect, then Satan can play a game in us. If we are so immersed in our inner freedom, in the joy of gratefulness, in the joy of love, that God is abiding in us and He is operating within us, when we are in that freedom, Satan can do nothing. Satan is completely helpless at that time. But the minute you come about it and you are prepared to engage in an intellectual involvement, sure, you are certainly a target. You can be tempted, you can be manipulated, you can be coerced into doing something. All of that he can do it, when we are intellectually engaged. But if we are rooted in the wisdom of God, if you are rooted in the joy of gratefulness, if you are rooted in the awareness of your soul and the life within you, Satan can do nothing. Absolutely nothing. See, that's a lesson we learn from the life of Mother Mary. That's a lesson we learn even from the life of Mary Magdalene. See, Satan was able to do something with Mary Magdalene as long as she is materially engaged, intellectually engaged in something. When she freed herself, when she was delivered of all of that, she was 100% vested in the love of Jesus. Satan couldn't do anything to her afterwards. Mother Mary, Satan could do nothing to her. She lived a long life, and she died a natural death. So was Mary Magdalene. So was St. John the Apostle. People he could not shake up. He could do nothing to them. See, St. John the Apostle went on to write the incredible mystical gospel of all four of them, that talks again and again and again about the love of Jesus. Read his letters. Everything is about the love of God, the power of God, the inabiding presence of God. That is what St. John's gospel is all about. See, he gave us that gospel. And he died a natural death. He was not martyred. All three people who stood there and witnessed the death of Jesus, without being threatened, without being intimidated, without being fearful about what everybody else is doing to Jesus, they stood there. They stood their ground, witnessed the death of Jesus. Could Satan do anything to them? he could not do anything to them even at that time. He could not do anything to them even for the rest of their lives, because they were so rooted in the love of God, in the love of Jesus, all three of them.
That's why we have Lord's Prayer that do not lead us into temptation, right?
Yeah.
And deliver us from evil. Every time we do that.
That's exactly what the reason is. I mean, we need to remain rooted in the love of God. The more we remain rooted in the love of God, Satan has no access to our soul, no access to our being. See, if we are materially entangled in something or the other, in somewhere or the other, then he has full access to what we are doing.
But there's a lot of news story about Mary Magdalene and also Mother Mary too. Is she's in the France with those house in the France, you know?
Yeah.
Mary Magdalene, did they move to
Oh, no, she's still there in what is it, in St. Baum, in the mountains of St. Baum and Macmillan St. Baum or something. Yeah, no, her remains are still there. You know, and that was Mary Magdalene. Apostolic ministry is very much a part of the church, but the mystical ministry is equally important. See, the mystical ministry is what Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and St. John the Apostle followed. See, St. John the Apostle was not an apostolic minister. The mystical ministry, the Desert Fathers, and all the traditions are very, very important to the church. After Constantine, that got annihilated. And, but you see, the thing is, nevertheless, we need to revive it. You see, and that revival this time around has to happen among the seculars, not the religious. See, there was a theologian, I don't know, if you heard about him. You know what he said? The future of Christians are either mystics or nothing. Unfortunately, we are looking at a sort of a trend where the church, everybody is leaving the church and the church is becoming nothing. The Christians that are remaining in the church are pretty much, they're just complacent Christians. But a lot of really, really good people are leaving the church. Thoughtful people are leaving the church. See, even in the US, 54% of the people have left the church, not just one or two. And this number is very high when you're looking at Western Europe, even Italy. Very high, much higher than 54. See, so a lot of really, really good people are leaving the church. And if you talk to any of them, they will just tell you one thing. Well, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. See, every one of them is trying to have a life in Christ, even away from the church. That's what it means. So the harvest is plenty. God is looking for people. Plenty of harvest. I mean, when you're talking about 54% of US population, just look at the number. Even among adults, people who are grown up, over 100 million of them. Ever since COVID, the number of youngsters leaving the church has gone up by 16%. Okay? Youngsters are not going to the church anymore in the US.
Where do they go?
They don't go anywhere. See, when they are at home until they go to college, well, they go with their parents. See, after they go to college, they're on their own. See, that is the predicament of the church today. Harvest is plenty. A lot of people out there claiming themselves to be spiritual but not religious. See,
But sometimes I was confused about those Mother Mary, right? There's the Lady Nuts in Ireland, there's the Fatima, Spanish, Portugal,
Yeah.
France, right? Are they all belong to Mother Mary, or they are like the Fatima, Lady Fatima, the Lady Knox, right? And then this one in France, right? The quote here, and this one is Portugal, right? There's the Mother, yeah, the one that showing the apparition, yeah, and there's well, are they all related to Mother Mary, or just because the Catholic Church they somehow is I know it's also really nice religious side that we want to have something to believe in, something that teach people to do the right thing, good things, right? But there's so those place to
you see, one thing, the religion that did so well in our community and in our beings and all of that, that it sort of taught us morality. It helped us maintain a certain level of moral standards. And that moral standards, that upholding of that moral standard, church helped us a lot with that. Is it good? Is it bad? Actually, in a material universe, it is good. See, but look at the trend now. As more people leaving their religions, there is nobody to control that moral standards. Education to a certain extent, but education when it comes to moralities, then they become more liberal also at the same time. See, because the more thoughtful people become, they become more liberal, unfortunately. You see, because thoughtfulness has a way of liberating us. Okay? So that liberation also involves our moral boundaries, also, the moral standards. Are we going higher or are we going lower? Okay? That is a question to be asked. You see, I mean, look at the chaos around the world. Look at the war, you know, look at the way they are sort of going on killing the innocent. Look at all the violence around the world. See how morality is playing a role in our societies around the world. See, this is another reason why God is looking for that one person so he could bring out the water out of that person. You see, the harvesting needs water. If there is no water, there is no harvest. So that one person is everything, absolutely everything.